Oh boy, where do we begin? So unless you guys have been living under a rock, you most certainly have seen all of the news articles and Instagram posts describing what happened this morning in New York City. Long story short, Benjamin Chen, aka BC on Instagram, completely destroyed, totaled his incredible 1 of 25 Gemballa Mirage GT. Basically a heavily modified, customized, amazing Carrera GT. If you guys didn't already, my brother and I's favorite all-time dream car would probably be the Carrera GT. If we could sell all of our supercars in the garage and get one car, it would probably be the Carrera GT. So this hurts even more seeing this. Kieran called me this morning, he's like, bro, did you hear about the Carrera GT? I'm like, what? Trying to wake up. He's like, BC's Carrera GT. I'm like, what? And then he sent me the picture and I'm like, no way. So I'm gonna try to keep this video short, but I'm gonna fill you in on some extra information that I don't think is fully out there yet. And I also wanna hear your guys' opinions and thoughts in the comment section down below. So be sure to leave a like on this video and drop a comment down below. We will be randomly selecting one comment announced on my Instagram for a free JR Garage hoodie. What's unique about this crash is there is so much video footage and pictures. Obviously it's in New York City, so there's gonna be a lot of people around. In most cases, you don't get to see the actual video of the crash. So he was going at what looks to be a high rate of speed down 11th Avenue in Hell's Kitchen district in New York City, where he lost control and slammed into a parked Toyota Sienna. So now a normal responsible driver would probably call the police, explain what happened, make sure nobody was hurt. Luckily there was nobody in those parked cars. But what he did next was unbelievable and what has the internet absolutely exploding right now. He proceeds to drive away, flee the scene in his absolutely mangled, destroyed Carrera GT. Doing more damage to it, you're just getting yourself into more and more trouble. So as you can see in the clip I'm about to play here, I don't even know if he got out of the car to inspect the situation. It's not clear when that video started. He may have just crashed, the video started rolling, and he immediately throws that sucker in first gear, and he proceeds to fly away from the scene.
He's dragging a tire. What's wrong with this dude? Empty.
Now how this car was still running or operating at this point with all the wheels completely bent and the front wheel not even turning, I don't even know. But as you heard, he was revving that thing up and he was really trying to get out of there quick for obvious reasons. So it turns out later when he got caught, a few more blocks down the road or a mile, whatever it was, he didn't get too far before he hit more cars, I believe, and caused more damage, and then the cops finally caught up to him.
Where you go? He's gonna run away. Stay in the car. He's hamming.
So he finally gets out of the car when the cops tell him to get out. Obviously you can clearly see something's up. As you can see when he was getting out, he was like stumbling. He could barely walk completely straight. He even tried to get back in the car at one point, maybe to try to get away again. He was definitely in some sort of alternate reality where he thought maybe in his head none of this has happened and all he could think about was getting away. So this is where it gets a little interesting. It was later revealed that he was obviously arrested and he was charged with reckless driving. I think he deserves that one. And he was charged with DUI. Driving under the influence of, that's still an unknown. Who knows if he was super drunk or on some kind of drugs, but this will obviously ruin his license and affect his life greatly. And that's why he was trying to get away. So I haven't seen anyone talk about this yet, but when I was going through the news reports, I heard one person say he was eventually caught just short of the Javits Center on 11th Street there. And I'm like, wait a second, Javits Center, I connected everything in my head. I know that his warehouse is actually right around the corner from the Javits Center. So this is what I'm thinking. I'd put money on this hypothesis. Mr. Benjamin crashed the car. He realizes, oh crap, I am completely not sober. I am going to get in big trouble for this. The car still runs, I can put it in gear, okay, it's starting to move, I think I can get out of here and I'll deal with this stuff later. So he tries to flee back to his warehouse, is my guess, all hypothesis theory. I'm just gonna full send it home, try to get back, you know, they can't charge me with DUI if I wasn't at the scene and like they can't catch me. So that is my theory. I know this because I've seen him in New York before. When I was there for the New York Auto Show, I actually saw him in his 993 911 Turbo, beautiful car. And I'm like, yo, nice car, with thumbs up. And he says, you know, thanks back. And I've seen him a couple other times around the Javits Center. Friends have confirmed that that's where his warehouse is. So that, I think, is a big piece of information. It's not like he just crashed the car and wanted to ruin it even more and go on a joyride and terrorize New York City. He was definitely trying to get back to his warehouse so that he could not be caught and charged with a massive DUI. He would have been charged for a lot of stuff eventually, but he may not have been exactly on the hook for a DUI immediately, because now, of course, getting caught at the scene or just there after the scene, it was pretty clear how messed up he was. It was initially reported that the car was stolen. I guess that kind of makes sense, since it seems like it was a scene out of a movie and that no owner of that car would do those things, but unfortunately it did happen. Honestly, I feel bad for the Carrera GT. If you own that car, or any car for that matter, and the thought of driving it under the influence crosses your mind, then you don't deserve to own any car. And what else is super sad about the situation is he not only destroyed this unicorn, he's actually crashed other unicorns in the past as well. Sources say he also crashed the ultra rare LP670 Murcielago gated 6-speed manual, one of just a handful, now crashed as well. And he also crashed a McLaren back in the day, 2013. He's the co-founder of Gold Rush Rally, so he doesn't have the best track record when it comes to those cars. No one will deny he has some insane cars though. His collection is nuts. Like, our collection is a joke compared to something like that. But of course, after some quick digging, it's pretty clear that his parents are very, very well off in China, multi-billionaires. So of course, even a little piece of that pie would enable him to purchase some very, very expensive exotic cars. So it's really a bummer. Comment down below. I'm really curious your guys' take on this whole situation. A lot of people are like, this dude is a horrible guy fleeing the scene of that accident. If you were in that situation, what would you have done differently? But again, luckily no one was seriously injured. Remember back in Virginia, there was a 720S that crashed the day after he bought the car. So it wasn't quite that situation with the Carrera GT. He's owned that car for about 6 years, I think, a little over 6 years. I think he got it in 2013. So he's had the car for a while, and of course it eventually caught up with him, but he does drive, I mean, the time that I saw him in the 993 Turbo, maybe it's because I gave him a thumbs up, he wanted to let me hear what it sounded like. He definitely sent it pretty good in that car. So when you send it like that in a Carrera GT, bad things happen. Unfortunately, those cars can get away from you quick. I don't know, I haven't driven one, only seen a couple in person, and they are just next level. You have to be on your game while driving that car. Like I said, definitely a dream car. Maybe one day. I don't know if it'll be this car. The amount of links I got saying, are you gonna buy this car from Salvage Auction and rebuild it? For starters, I doubt it's gonna go to Salvage Auction. A lot of time in these celebrity situations or big press situations, or bad press in this case, they don't want the cars getting out there. I assume with all the money in that family, they're just gonna buy the car back from insurance and like never let it out there to the public. Just like Paul Walker in that Carrera GT. That never went to Salvage Auction. Well, there wasn't much left of it, but that car didn't go to Salvage Auction. So I doubt this one's gonna go to auction for anyone to bid on it. If it does, one thing that's interesting, another piece of information, there's been one Carrera GT salvage that has sold recently on Copart. It sold for $300 and I think like $40-something thousand wrecked. Not nearly as badly wrecked as this one. So if this was to go to Copart auction, I think it would sell for maybe around $200,000 or something in the 200s. Comment down below what you think it would sell for, and if you think it's gonna get to Copart or Insurance Auto Auctions or whatever. I doubt it, but we'll see. If it does get there, I would definitely bid on it to a certain amount, but I think it'll go for some crazy amount. Collectors are dying for those cars, so whether they've been crashed or clean titles. So like I said, leave a like and drop a comment down below for the chance to win the JR Garage hoodie announced on my Instagram in a couple days. We'll get back to normal videos here pretty soon. We got the straight piping of the C300 going down this week. I just bought all the parts we need for it, the X pipe, the quad tips for the carbon fiber diffusers that are coming later this week as well. So a lot going on there. Some green twin turbo Lamborghini content coming there. Actually, I talk about how vicious that Carrera GT is and how crazy it is. I think it's got, what, 650 horsepower? Here I am with a car that can put out 2,000 horsepower, so I gotta be really careful myself. it's definitely a reminder and a wake-up call of how quickly these supercars can get away from you. So I definitely have to, remind myself, play it safe as we've always done, because we never ever want a situation like this on our hands. There you guys go. I hope you enjoyed this quick little upload. I'll be checking out your guys' comments down below and replying to a bunch of them. So subscribe if you guys are new to the channel so you don't miss future content, and have a great rest of your week. See you.
That it feels right.